Notification. Of course, I turn your mic on right as you're saying we are live. We are live and whatever.
We're talking YouTube on that. We are having some internet issues.
We need to get coordinated. Anyway, it's the Positively Petland show on 800 KXIC. Glad to have you along. And yeah, we've had internet issues, phone issues. I'm blaming it on the heat from last week. But we are here and we are talking about the breed of the week, some great products. Food of the, is it week or month?
I'd like to do them every week just because food for your dog is important. And there are some big differences between foods out there. And so we haven't highlighted that for a while. So we're going to go back in.
And don't let me forget, one of the questions I would have is, what if you find out that your dog doesn't like a certain food? Is there any way to trial and error? We can talk about that.
I like that question, and we will address that.
Good. Don't let me.
I love that question.
Don't let me forget it. So, what is the breed of the week?
It is the Labrador Retriever. And where do you think the Labrador? Because you've already had one guess, and you were wrong. So, it's
Labrador, not lavender.
Labrador.
Newfoundland.
No. How did you get that?
Are you being serious?
Yes. Did you just because we did the Newfoundland the other day?
The thing I was thinking about was Holland, and Holland has purple flowers, and so I was thinking lavender, and then I didn't want to say Holland, so I just went with Newfoundland. Is that correct?
All right, let's read about the Labrador Retriever. Holy cow! Ding, 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 ding.
That's the first time I hit it on the. I mean, that was a blind shot. I'm sort of excited. You got me excited, Ron.
Woo-hoo. All right, let's listen to. This is from AKC. I love reading about the history of these dogs, and that gives you a little more flavor on them. You can also go to petlandiowacity.com and see how, we've got all the breeds on there. AKC, we bring their information into our website, so it's nice and accurate to what the breeds are all about. So let's listen in to what they say about the Labrador Retriever. So the Labrador Retriever did not originate in Labrador, but on the island of Newfoundland.
Wow.
In all probability, the breed developed from a combination of European breeds brought to Newfoundland on numerous fishing ships. I love this story.
People aren't going to believe that I got that on the first shot, just completely.
No, they're going to think that I had a sign, and
you didn't. And your reaction, if you could see it, and you can check it out on the YouTube live video feed. You were actually that was legit. You were genuine on that one.
Yeah, that was really good. So we were that island of Newfoundland, numerous fishing ships. Sorry, remember that. All right, these ships, dogs, along with other dogs brought by England, Irish, and French colonists, combined in the melting pot that was colonial Newfoundland to produce the Labrador Retriever. The short-haired black dogs were known as lesser Newfoundlands or St. John's dogs until several were purchased by the 3rd Earl of Malmesbury from fishermen on vessels returning to England. Malmesbury wrote, "We always call mine Labrador dogs." That's
the way he talks.
Yeah, that's what he said. I think he had a little bit more of an accent, and he developed a breeding program to preserve their retrieving instinct and willingness to please. So that is where Labrador came from. So they kind of glossed over it. They really don't know where Labrador. There is I think a town somewhere east or west of this island, and they think that somehow it came from there, but they do know that the original breeder said, "Call mine Labrador dogs." All right. The breed soon attracted the attention of sportsmen in the United States. So now you're getting to understand why we think of them as hunting dogs. And Labradors were imported back to this continent in the early part of the 20th century. So they didn't even come in until, 100 years ago. The first Labrador was registered in the America Kennel Club back in 1917. The breed has since been utilized not only as a hunting dog, but also as an assistant dog, substance detection dog, search and rescue worker, and its most important job, family companion.
Of course.
Yeah, of course. Because of this versatility and good nature, the Labrador has been the most popular AKC registered breed in the United States since 1992. So form and function, although the Labrador is the master of many trades, his essence is that of a working retriever. For this reason, the muzzle is the same length, so the length of the nose, where the mouth and the nose is the same length as the back skull. So now stay with me. This is referring to hunting now, enabling gentle handling of game. The neck is long enough to pick up game easily. The forechest is a prow shape to break water and ice. The body is keel-shaped for water stability. The feet are medium-sized and well-webbed for strong propulsion in water. The two coats wrap the body as feathers and down wrap a duck. Oh, I kind of said that with wrong tense. You understand me. The body is feathers, the feathers on it, okay. And the thick, unique otter trail serves as a rudder. Finally, it is the retrieving instinct and the intelligent, friendly, outgoing attitude that gives us the hallmark temperament of the breed. A little bit about living with the lab. Adding a Labrador Retriever to your family is a serious obligation. Well, that would be true for any dog. That you want to say, make a informed, well thought out decision there. Labradors are energetic, devoted, intelligent, and enthusiastic companions who need to be included in family activities. They are willing learners, easily trained, and have sweet, loving disposition. They are not suited for protection or guard duties as a result. Now, I would add on, as far as that, just a comment on what they said on that last part, that whole guard thing. I would say don't ever get a dog for a guard purpose. The dogs, I always train the dogs to be nice, and there's definite training, and we could talk about that as our next training next week. How do you train your dog to be nice right from the beginning? Or maybe you adopted a dog. How do you move them in that direction? And we'll talk about that. What I always say is train them to be nice and friendly and all that. And we all know when we're horsing around and playing and you kind of get a little rough, like somebody starts yelling because they're just having fun. I'm not talking about a fight or anything. I'm talking about horse playing and all that. All of a sudden the dog goes and gets down on the haunches and, don't mess with that one and all that, especially if it's strangers around and doing it. Then they really get kind of riled up. Dogs go into action and you don't have to even do it, kind of a thing. So train them to be nice, and then you're going to get that regardless. The shelter is full of mean dogs. We need to, as a society, stop letting that happen, kind of a thing. So Labrador Retrievers, all American, living with one going on. All right, this is a large breed. As a puppy, it definitely has energy. They do kind of mellow out as they grow older, but the people that will say anywhere that mellowing out, everywhere from 2 years, they start to really calm down. But if you've got that special one, 5 years into it, you're like, golly, this guy's still a puppy.
That special one.
That special one.
I'm that special one.
You are special. And so the key to all of that is get them running and running and running so that you wear them out. They just have pent up energy and they just need to get it out. So a large breed is going to have more energy, that you're going to see just because they're a bigger dog in that regard. So get them worn out. Know that that's a commitment that you got to make. They're a shedding dog. They talked about how the water flows right off of them. My neighbor just got a little puppy chocolate lab, and he gave it the first bath. He goes, the water wouldn't even go into the fur. It just went whoop right around it. And I went, yep, that's what they're designed to be.
So the retriever part, does that come from game hunting?
Yeah, that's a hunting term, as in it's retrieving. As a companion, we think of retrieving as retrieving the ball and stuff like that. Same concept either way. So shedding dog, this is where that Furminator is going to be your big friend. If you're not into the shedding, or that's the only thing I kind of get frustrated with, just go get the Furminator. It is a proven tool that works extremely well and will reduce significantly the amount of shedding on that dog. It is definitely one of those friendly dogs. Have you met a mean Labrador Retriever out there? I'm sure somebody has, but that would be a rare event, and that person was probably either not training them correctly, maybe due to ignorance, or they were doing something intentional. Most Labrador Retrievers are just, I want to lick your face. I want to have fun with you. Let's go play.
I would say that they are at the top of my list of dogs that just always sort of have that, hey, everything's cool, man.
Yeah.
This, I just want to go play, and they smile, and they look pretty. They look like a happy dog.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm with you on that.
Whereas opposed to maybe a Chihuahua looks like it's going to fight the entire world in one one shot.
But even on Chihuahuas, and here a little, I think, known fact out there. Do you know? And I gave away the answer on this one. I've talked with the folks over at the animal shelter, and I go, we hear a lot about those, the pit bulls and stuff like that being biting dogs. And those are the ones that make the news because they can do damage, kind of a thing. But you know what the most biting dog is? The most complaints? It's the ay Chihuahua.
Ay, nice.
The little Chihuahua is the biggest biter. Now, again, that is something you can train them to not do. I was working with my staff just yesterday, some new employees. I show them the first step in having a dog learn to not bite you, learn to respect you, kind of a thing. And this group that I had in for training, they had already done this once, and it's the rollover that you do with a dog. Have you ever heard of the rollover, Jerry? With a dog? It's just, to put it plain, you're rolling them over so the belly is up, and you just put them in your lap. And there's more to it, and we can.
Oh, you've done that in studio before.
Yes, and I always have you do that. If they've done it once, they understand the concept. The second time, I go, okay, now we're going to get a dog that's a little more wily, and we got out our Shiba Inus. And so the Shiba Inus are very active and all that. And we had to do that. Well, the Shiba Inus were saying, you're not in charge, I'm in charge. And they were whining and all that. We were not hurting them at all. All we were doing was keeping them the belly up, kind of a thing. In about 5 minutes, it took a little bit for them. 5 minutes. They then calmed down, relaxed, and said, okay, you're in charge. That is so important for a dog to learn, that you're in charge. All these different things. Does your dog bite you when you get on the couch? Does your dog, I'm not saying a hard bite, just kind of puts his mouth on you and clamps just mildly. Or when you hand your dog to somebody else, does it bite that other person real quick? All of those are the dog. Here, this is how we interpret it. The dogs are showing dominance over you. They're saying, hey, realize I'm in charge here. Give you a little nip. Okay, we're all good now, kind of a thing. So we need to communicate back to them in a very nice way, and that's using the rollover technique. Again, we'll hit that in future episodes.
You were talking really quick about different bites, and I think it was last week's show or maybe 2 weeks ago we were talking about getting the rabies vaccination tags. I think it was last week. And did you hear about the dog bite over at the dog park? I mean, it was literally the next day.
Oh, I thought you were going to tell a joke just now.
No, there is no joke about this. So we were talking about rabies vaccination and how nasty rabies can be. And that's why you have to
be up to date on your vaccinations.
Be up to date on the vaccinations. The next day over at Rita's Ranch Dog Park, the Iowa City Police sent out looking for a couple whose dog bit somebody, and they left. And so the animal shelter and the services right now, animal control, don't know if rabies is in this person. And I don't know if they've caught the person or not, but they were looking for a person of interest who left right after, and they never knew if the dog didn't or was up on its vaccinations.
Right. That's such a complicated little story right there, because why were the police and animal control so concerned? Because a dog that bites, there is a percentage chance that it has rabies, and the mind is not right at that point when you contract rabies and it's into its advanced stages. So that would cause that dog to bite. So that's the danger. Now the owner, well, wait, if my dog bites somebody, does that mean it has to get put down? So it's a complicated thing there.
Absolutely.
And so they're like going, no, don't hurt my dog. Don't hurt my dog. And the person that got bit is saying, hey, I just need to know.
Yeah.
Kind of a thing. You can see both sides, but clearly the right thing to do is, yes, this is my dog. Here's the rabies tag. I've got control or whatever. Work with the authorities. I've always worked with them and found them to be reasonable and all that kind of stuff. So
I can understand all aspects of
Yeah.
it. You're scared. You don't want to get sued. The person who got bit was breaking up two dogs. It was her dog that got into it with the other dog, and so she went over to break the dogs up.
So even more complicated.
And so there were a lot of things that were going on, but it was 2 days after the event that the person finally realized, I don't know if this dog had its rabies vaccinations. And so now what happens?
It's a manhunt.
Well, it's not necessarily that, but the person that got bit now has to have blood testing
on a
regular basis to see if that happened. And all it would take is a simple conversation at the time of the event going, hey, I'm up to date. Here's my dog tags and that. So it was just ironic.
That's the right thing to do for sure.
It was just ironic that we were talking about it, and literally the next day I saw the press release.
Vaccinations are so easy to get done, keep up to date, and keeps you out of all those troubles. And they work, is the bottom line. And so the two huge ones, and the veterinarians can coach you, your veterinarian can coach you on what's right for your dog. That distemper and that rabies is out in the wild right now. And so your dogs, cats can contract those kind of things. And so that's why you have to keep them up to date.
Agreed. So that's the breed of the week, the Labrador Retriever, a very happy dog.
Yes, bring that back to happiness, because this is the PAWSitively Petland show.
And so moving right along, we talked a few weeks ago. You came back. You were all excited about the trade show. You went down to Orlando. It's the 50th anniversary of Petland. Yeah. And there are stores all over the world. And you go down, you find out great products, and now they're finally hitting the shelves.
Right. And this is, we always talk about local business, locally owned businesses and all that kind of stuff. This is what we bring as a locally owned business. Wendy and I and our staff go to trade shows, and we are searching out what is the new that works. It is cost effective and all that kind of stuff. We also look for bargains. If we get a bargain at the trade show, we can buy some quantity and then pass that along to you as a lower cost. Our Taste of the Wild, we continue. I think we got that from a trade show a few years ago, and we just said, hey, if we buy in this massive quantity, can we pass that along? We'll pass that along to the consumer. And for that reason, Taste of the Wild just flies off our shelf. I got to think we are the lowest cost in town, and we've been for a long time. We do that with all of our foods, all of our products, as much as we can, wherever we can get those discounts. So that's another aspect from going to the trade shows. Now, I love it, though, when we find those new products out there that is something cool, and we're going to play on that word, for your dog. And we're going to go down some of the neat products that came in. So this one, I think I had something like this, but we're bringing in a bigger mat and everything. So this is one of those, during these hot temperatures, you can it's a mat that your dog can lay on. So do you have a dog, and I just saw my own dog do it, and I got small dogs, was laying like as flat as it could on the ground. That's a good indication I'm overheating right now. I'm trying to just get rid of this heat. We talked about how dogs get rid of heat, and it's through their mouth only. They don't sweat. There is some conduction. We got into that at the engineering side through the skin, but it's not enough to reduce it. So it's all through the mouth. And so making sure your dog is well hydrated. A mat improves the conduction side of things. There you go, Jerry. We're going back to the engineering. So this is a cooling mat. You can put this cooling mat into the freezer, into the refrigerator, cool it down, and then put it out and watch your dog just enjoy the heck out of it to cool itself down. So whenever you see your dog doing that, then get that mat out, take it out, put it down, and show them that this is a nice cool area for them to go on. What we were also talking about were those, here, I haven't tried to even open this. These are literally, yesterday, I took them out of the boxes as they were coming in the door. So I'm opening it for the first time. This is quite a little, it's got a travel pouch that it's coming in. So this is an ice vest. So we know about,
there it is,
these products that,
I was going to say it looked like just an ice pack, but it's actually on the inside of the zippered.
So we know about those that, the runners, the bikers, who else? Golfers, you were saying, are using those oh, they're cottony soft kind of feel. But when you touch them, they're really, really cool. And what they do is this one already feels cool, but there's no moisture in it. This thing will go a lot cooler when you put a little moisture in it.
It's almost like a neoprene. It's kind of got that rubbery texture to it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a little rubbery. What it does is it evaporates water fast. Whatever they're doing makes it just like get rid of water fast. When it does that, when the water evaporates, it takes heat away and leaves quote unquote cool behind. And so this is something that we're using for humans quite a bit. Well, you can't wrap those little wraps around a dog. The dog's not going to quite understand what you're doing and is going to take it off. This one is in the form of a vest, and we've got different sizes for different dogs, so you can put a little moisture on this. I saw people in the bathrooms at a theme park recently, and it was almost an art. They were like touching the water, touching it underwater, just putting a little bit of water on it, and then they were putting it around their necks. This would you put around your dog, and it's got the whole Velcro backing to it, so it's easy on, quick on, and now your dog is going to get cooled down.
That was a great sound effect for radio.
You like that?
I do.
I do that with my mouth. I can make a Velcro sound with my mouth. Have you ever heard that one about the trains? Somebody that can make the sound of a train and all that?
No.
It was April 1st. I got hook, line, and sinker into the radio program. I'm like, holy cow, somebody can really do a train good, because they had the train going over the tracks, the steel hitting the ka-chunk, ka-chunk, ka-chunk.
And this was on radio?
Yes. And then they got into the whistle, and I'm like, whoa, I can't believe somebody can do that. And then Ron, April 1st.
Silly you.
All right. So yes, that was real Velcro. So this is called the Ice Vest, made by Fresh Pet. It's at Petland, Iowa City right now on the shelf, so that you can buy it for your dog and keep your dog cool. So 2 ways to keep your dog cool during these summer months. So that cooling pad, the ice mat, and then the ice vest. Now let's get into some more active-y things. They also make
a life jacket.
And I'm telling you, I love this life jacket for a couple of reasons. One, it looks cool. It's just one of those kind of fashionable kind of looking things. So when you put it on your dog, they don't look at you and go, really? You want me to wear this thing? Some things about it. It's the quick on. It is very much like a life jacket for a person in some ways. So it's got the clip belts and all that. It does have here, let me do my Velcro sound again. The Velcro, so it's a quick on, it's adjustable, so you can get it firm.
I like the flap on the front.
I love the flap on the front. The flap
on the front is where the dog can rest its snout on.
Yes. So some dogs don't get it, and they kind of let it dip down and all that. This one will actually support the head up even more. That's cool. And then look at this guy. There is a handle on the top, so you can just, like, if you're a boater or you're on the pier and you're like, come on, dog, let's go. You can literally reach down, and there is a nice durable handle. You just pick that guy right up, right out of the water. He's fully supported by the vest, so it's safe on that. So that's cool. It even has a neck adjustment, so that if your dog has a fat neck or a skinny neck. Did you know that some dogs actually sink? Sink. You put them in the water and they go to the bottom.
Well, why wouldn't they?
Just like us, we float. Most of us float. The pugs, those little guys, they have a hard time staying up. And so this life jacket is a life preserver for them for sure. So come in. We've got a full line of really nice life jackets now by Fresh Pet. This is one of those booths that we went into, and in the past I've always been amazed not only on the quality of the product, the uniqueness of the product, but the price of it is just so spot on. It's something I can afford that one kind of a thing. Something similar to that, and this one's still even in the plastic. This one for those active dogs out there.
We don't encourage you doing that inside the store.
What, taking the plastic off?
Yeah.
Why?
Oh, can they?
Well, it should be out of the plastic when it gets on the shelf.
Okay, that wasn't.
Oh yeah, you got to take these things out. Holy cow! This is I'm looking at it and going, this is a vest. It's a backpack for your dog, and so in the past, they kind of had janky backpacks, and all this. This thing's like the real deal, like made for a dog with all sorts of ways to keep it on your dog, but adjustability to fit your dog.
And so it's a backpack for a dog. So if you didn't want to carry all of your stuff, have your dog do it.
Now, I will tell you, I think a lot of people buy backpacks for their dogs to wear them out. I think they're getting it off the internet where they're buying a backpack and then you put weights in here. And so if you have an active dog, it is a quicker way to wear them out.
The logic of it makes sense.
Right. I haven't heard anything wrong about doing that. If you throw the ball and run them out, that's great. If you want to go for a walk, but want to give them a little bit more, obviously don't overweight them.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, you don't go overboard on it. Try a little. A little probably goes a long way on it. But this is incredible for the dog, and fits them really well. And again, has a nice durable top. So if you're trying to retrieve that dog from someplace, it's really easy to just reach down and grab them up. Even has a little clip for your lead to hook onto and all that kind of thing. So a lot of cushion, support, and adjustability with the backpack storage areas as well. So very excited about backpacks for dogs because I love the outdoors. And this is a way to get your dog with you out there. The travel water dish / food dish. So if you're bringing out a water bottle for yourself, this is a kind of a, what do you call this? Nylon. Mm-hmm. It's a zip pouch. It collapses to a really small size, but when you open it up, it's 2 bowls. And so you can put water in one and then food in the other. Really easy, convenient for the dogs. So that's another neat thing from Fresh Pet. Very economical as far as all this stuff goes. So come on in and check those out. What's next on here? The next thing that we got. All right. So I had to bring this because before you know it, that temperature is going to go down. And so Fresh Pet is the line that we bring in for all of our jackets in the wintertime and all that kind of stuff. But they were smart and they said, hey, before you know it, those temperatures are going to go down. Your customers are going to want to have a nice little sweatshirt kind of a thing for your dog. So know that we have this on the shelf. You're going to see all of this right when you open the door. It's going to go bam right in front of you. It'll all be right there. This is a nice little sweatshirt for your dog as it gets cooler in the late summer, early fall. Got to think through those things. What I love about their apparel is they're just cool looking, kind of thing. I like the way they look.
This is the cool styling show.
Oh my goodness, yes. I'm all about
You're all about.
If you know me, I'm an engineer. I'm not about style.
You're a slave
I like to think
fashion.
I am. Yes. My kids laugh at me when I come home. Hey, I got some new stuff. That's Dad's clothes. All right, this is
all you ever wear though is khakis and a Petland shirt.
that's all you ever see.
That's all I've ever seen you in.
So this sweatshirt, what I love about what Fresh Pet does is they make it so you can get this on your dog within 5 seconds. So I always point that out to customers that are walking through the door and they're going, they're kind of looking at the jackets and I don't even want to mess with that stuff. I will put this on in 5 seconds. Look at it. You just wrap it around, Velcro, and you're done. It is that quick, and we can show you as you come in the store. So it's a nice little sweatshirt. Be prepared. I know it's too hot right now, but it's going to get a little cooler in the evening for your little dogs and big dogs. But it's got a nice little hood that retracts with a little Velcro. It's got a little space for your collar or your harness to come up through. It even has an adjustable little hind end thing so that you can make it so that it wraps around their little butt very well and protects that area and all that kind of stuff. Allows them to do all the dog things that they normally do, so poop and pee and all that kind of stuff. So you're not going to get it on the garment. So they've really thought this thing out, both fashionably and functionally. It's a really, really good garment. We sold a ton of their winter apparel last winter. We're bringing in another whole line this year. This is going to start it off with the fall with a nice wintry product. How are we doing on time, Jerry?
We are doing great. And I just wanted to point out that it's so hot, the trees are whistling for the dogs. The trees are whistling for the dogs.
I don't get it.
They want the dogs to come over and urinate on them.
Oh, golly, that was a little bit of a long shot.
It was not.
That for me, it was.
Anybody else that was listening.
For this meager brain, it was.
How about this one? It's so hot that I saw 2 fire hydrants chasing a dog. Okay, never mind. You're just
Okay, I got it. And they want, oh, here, why do they want to get peed on?
Well, no,
So
it's
that
not,
there's
it's not the,
evaporation, so
it's
that they're
not the
going to
fact
cool
that
down.
that they want to get peed on. It's the fact, and here we are talking about pee and poop again. It's the
It's a Positively
it's the
Petland show.
Positively Petland
It's
show.
all about
It's
peas.
because it's hot out and they want to get cooled off. It's not that they want to get peed on.
You know, Jerry, that's just kind of odd humor because I don't see how that cools anything off. It feels kind of warm and musky, and that's just gross.
Even
We're moving on.
the simplest of jokes, you have to overanalyze and go, well, actually, when you add water to something to it,
this is what my family has to put up with. All right, how much time do we have left?
we're doing okay.
I mean, give me some
8 minutes.
8 minutes. You know what? I did bring some things in, and this is bonus. 2 things for your dog to eat to help you out. One of them's for the dog too. We're gonna just go on one. Has your dog ever come into the room, or did it ever come in the room and just leave a foul smell and then walk away and go, "Oh my goodness, what did you just do?"
Don't make me say what that is.
It tooted.
Yeah, I'm sure it did.
It tooted. Yeah, there's actually a product out there.
It's called crop dusting, by the way. You led me into it, and I have no restraint
Why do we have so many terms for the funny things our bodies do?
When we're walking down the primrose path, man, I'm going to take you all the way to the end.
All right. So there is actually a product out there. We have the full line of Nature Vet in our store. Why? Because it's one of the leading brands.
It's called No Toot.
It's called No Toot. They have so many cool products that solve so many problems. I have probably 6 different items from Nature Vet for my own dogs. I have an elderly dog, so I have the joint supplements and things that help that dog out. That dog also has anal glands that get filled up and then they go scooching and all that. It has a no scoot product that we just throw into her diet. It adds fiber, the right kind of fiber for the dog. This one, No Toot. It is a gas aid. And so I think this is such a cool product. And if you are just
a cool product
for these hot days, we can go in so many different directions. I'm going to pull back and say a great product to get your dog to be less gassy. So if that's a problem with your dog, food sometimes is the way to try, a different food. Maybe you can get something that's more agreeable to you. As far as that goes, is when you get into the higher quality foods, they tend to be more agreeable to the stomachs and the digestive systems. They recognize that you don't like your dog tooting around the house, so they'll formulate it to be less tooty. So good dog food gets you in that way. And we'll talk about that. But No Toot gets you there as well, so that you can supplement this. You can keep the food you're on. Go to No Toot by Nature Vet at Petland, Iowa City, and lower the smells that emanate from your dog.
I like the dog's look on the front of it. I think it would be one of the best jobs ever would be photographing pets for products like this, because he kind of has a little smirk on his face like, hey, it works. It's I endorse it.
I was a little too. Yeah, you could even say the endorsement. Yeah, I was a little tooty until I tried.
Yeah.
No Toot. So that's that. And then finally, we wanted to talk. Do I got a 2-minute?
No, you're fine.
Give me some time frames here.
27 minutes.
We got a long ways to go, people.
5 minutes.
All right, I wanted to just highlight, I talked about good quality food. And at Petland, we have a lot of great quality food for your dog and your cats. We have over 30 different brands because we know that you're trying to do different things with your dogs. I like to bring out, what is the purpose of feeding a good, healthy diet? It does a couple of different things. When you eat cheap food from the grocery, here is a what do you call it? An analogy? No, it's a comparison. What do we know about our own foods? The cheap foods that we have now gotten used to eating, it's, the freezer items and all that kind of stuff. Those, pop them in the oven and go. It tastes good, fills me up and all that. But what are we finding? They're not good for us. Even the ones that look like they're good for us aren't even good for us. In those fast prepared type foods.
I had a TV dinner a few weeks ago, and I tried convincing my sister in Des Moines when I visited her last week, I guess. Anyway, it had 126% of my daily intake for sodium, and I was trying to convince her, yeah, it has more than I need.
That's good, isn't it?
And she was like, Jerry, that's not the way that this works. But I was like, it has more than 100%. It's got to be good.
Emily, our daughter, is working with a professor that is maniac on eliminating so much salt from your diet.
It is crazy how much is out there.
And just from a doctor's perspective, and they're doing research on it now, and it hasn't even gotten to us, his whole department is massively reducing salt in their own diets. And so now at the dinner table, Emily will go, oh, professor's not going to like us today. So yes, those fast prepared, oh, my dog loves it kind of a things don't necessarily equate to good quality food. If you pay more for your dog, I know this sounds cliche, you probably are getting a better dog food. And that is, this dog food market is so competitive now. Nobody can just bring them food to the market, charge a lot of money, and expect somebody to buy it. They have to show you the quality. Health Extensions has just that. No byproducts, no corn, no soy, no wheat, no, I can't ethoxyquin. I can't even pronounce some of this. No artificial flavors, colors, or dyes. No rendered animal fats. No glutens. No artificial preservatives. No BHT. No added sugars. They've got a lot of stuff that they took out so that they get the good stuff in. There are good sources for protein. There are good sources for carbohydrates. Why is the grain-free fad with dogs so huge? It's because the dogs can't digest the grains as easily as other things. Doesn't mean grains are bad for dogs. It's just they can't digest them as quickly. So rices and brown rices and all that kind of stuff, and potatoes tend to be the carbohydrate of choice, and we'll talk about those later. But Health Extensions does a lot of good things for your dog. And is a really good high quality dog food that they're going to eat less of. You asked one question on dog food
testing, and how do you figure out
if my dog likes it? Does that mean it's good? And that's something that customers say.
Well, that wasn't necessarily the question. It was, how do you figure out if your dog is going to like a food?
Right. They have no choice. Do we let our kids have this choice?
Yes.
What are they going to eat if we give them a choice? Ice cream, which is actually good for you in small doses. Candy, I'm not going to say most candy is not good for you. They're going to eat all of that. And I've even in the past showed them it, at Halloween. How many can I have? As many as you want. It's what does it feel like when you got a bunch of junk in your stomach? Yeah. And Andrew real quickly went, I don't feel good. And I'm like, yeah, that's what happens when you eat too much candy. It's not good for you.
I guess it was more leaning towards...
I know, I'm going to get to your point.
Okay.
Let me get there, okay? I like to ramble. Okay, so what do you do when your dog doesn't like the food? Good quality food that you bought for them because you know this is good for them. The same thing that you're going to do to your child. They go to bed hungry if they don't eat what's on the table. So now, and I still do this to my dogs to this day, every now and then they get finicky. I got Susie, the trouble child. All of a sudden she says, you know what? I'm not going to eat this today. And I go, okay, well, the next meal is dinner. So you're not going to get a meal until then. And I put her bowl right back up in the cupboard so she doesn't have any food. In my family, there'll be another dog or a cat come in and it will eat it up. So I have to put it up in a cabinet. Now dinner comes around. Okay, I'm hungry. I want to eat it. And that's how you get them to eat what you put in front of them. Got to put boundaries on our dogs just like we do our children. If you bought a good quality food, they have no choice is the answer. Yeah, kind of a thing. That's just the bottom line as far as how to get them to do it. I had a cat that went for 3 days without food because he wouldn't eat the medicated food that the veterinarian prescribed. Mm-hmm. And if he didn't eat the prescribed food, he would die. So I'm not feeding the other stuff. That was a special case.
You've been doing this show for how long? 8 years?
Yes.
I liked your assertiveness there. You basically shut down, AKA the host, me.
Bam.
Going, I'm going to get to your point. Just back off a little bit. And I'm like sitting here going, All right, Ron Solzrud.
He's on a rant.
He's on a rant.
I get on rants.
But you did answer the question.
Yeah.
You knew what I was trying to get
I
at.
was trying to get around to it. I got to ramble for a little bit, and then I'll hit it right on the head.
It's all good. That's what it's all about. So we have 2 minutes. Do you want to tell us about Petland?
Petland of Iowa City. We're over at the Marketplace Mall. If you remember the Sycamore Mall, it's now known as the Marketplace Mall. Our store is across from the Lucky's Market. If you haven't gone to Lucky's Market, you want to try that. That's a really nice shopping store. There's some new stores coming into that mall. I think we got about 3 months, 4 months. So it's expanding, it's getting bigger, it's getting funner, and all that kind of stuff as well. We're across from the parking lot from them.
You said funner.
You said funner. It's more fun. And so come into Petland. Today, Sunday, we're open from noon until 6 p.m. All other days, we're open from 10 a.m. until 9 p.m. But today, Sunday, we're open from noon until 6. Come in and play. 70% of the people that come in looking for a dog, a specific breeder or whatever, or a bunny or whatever it is, they leave with something else because they learned about it and they said, you know what, there's something more appropriate for our family right now, whether it's a different breed or a different pet or whatever it is. So help us work with you through that process and find that right pet for your right family. You already got a dog? Now we've got a buy 10, get 1 free on all of our dog and cat food. We track it for you so you don't. And we get the lowest price, like we talked at the front of the show here. We work with the manufacturers to get that free bag for you. We actually went back to the manufacturer and said, you have to pay for it. And so all of it is for the benefit of you on that. Then we also have a $5 nail trim. You can't beat a $5 nail trim. Come on in, no appointments necessary. Bring your vaccination schedule. We'll keep it on file for you, and we'll take your little pooch in and give them a quick manicure.
There it is.
And that is Petland of Iowa City.
Petland of Iowa City. Can I give you one little radio tip when you were talking about the word that you couldn't pronounce when it said no electro, whatever it was?
Yeah. What do you do?
You do 2 things. Either you skip it and you stop before you start the sentence.
Yeah, I didn't do that though.
Or B, make up an entirely new word and then just blow straight through it.
Then Jerry calls you out on it.
And then
what did you just say?
That's 20 years of radio right there. No electrocognition.
And everybody's like, that was cute.
That was cute. And I think that he meant to say this. And then they call, and anyway, little radio tip. Ron, always a pleasure stopping.
Thank you.
Having
it's all real over here.
It's real, it's fun, and it's real fun. It's the Positively Petland Show, Sunday mornings at 9 o'clock. Have a great day, everybody.
Thanks.